What's up, Hammerheads? Welcome back to the channel. And if it looks like we're in a bar right now, it's because we are. We have a project to work on in the house today. I know we usually do car stuff, but we're going to switch gears. Today, we are going to be changing a hot water tank. Our hot water tank started weeping out the bottom. The floor is getting a little bit wet. I honestly don't even know what it's leaking from, but the hot water tank's old, and I have a suspicion that one of the heating elements is already burned out. So we're going to replace that thing, but before we got started, I figured I'd show you around the basement. So, this is our bar. We built this quite a few years ago, but this is our little hangout area. Yes, we stay stocked. But the bar top is the main thing that I wanted to show off. We did this quite a few years ago, and it's, I don't know, somewhere around 3,000 bottle caps, all in epoxy. And yes, it sucked. Yes, it took forever. But this is our little chill spot. Many of you that are watching this will already know about this basement. But, you know, my wife used to ride horses, so we have this whole horse motif going through the house. I still like it. We did this like 10 years ago, and I still like it. I still think it looks great. So, real quick, just showing off a little. So over here in this corner of the basement is where we're going to be working, inside that door right there. But I've shot a couple deer over the years, have some of them here. Here's my big boy. Don't know that I'll ever get another one that big. Very proud of that one. But a couple buck I shot, little fireplace, little entertainment area. There's the new hot water tank. A.O. Smith, they make pretty good stuff from what I understand. So that's what's going to be going in. So inside this room is where I had all the ugly, and don't hate on it. Everybody needs an ugly area. Mana block, plumbing distribution block. That thing is gangster. I love that setup. But here's the hot water tank, as you can see on the floor. Oh, excuse my shadow, please. You can see where it's wet, and we have a little bit of mold starting up the wall right there. So we're gonna have to bleach that. We're gonna bleach this whole area. And we're going to change this sucker. First things first, we got to shut off the power. Over here behind all my hunting clothing is our, you guys are not going to be able to see this, but right here is everything's listed, what all these do. If you're going to do any electrical work, keep a very good record of what all this crap does. That way, when you come down here, you can just shut it off. No one's going to get electrocuted. No one's going to die. Electric is not scary. Just turn this off and you're safe. So that is the one for the hot water tank. It's breaker 7 and 9. This is a double pole 20 amp, which means it's 220, and it's a 12-3 wire, if any of you know what that is. But most hot water tanks are 220, 240, whatever you want to call it. Double pole breaker. That wire comes out. Oh, wait, there it is. It's that one. Right down into the top of the tank right here. So now that the power's off, we're safe to work. We got to get that blanket off of there, so we're going to do one of these. Boom, just like that, ready to work. So now that we have the power off, we're going to open up this guy. We're going to see exactly what we're working with in there, and we're going to verify that everything on the top of this tank is going to work with the new one. Excuse my shadow, guys, sorry. So basically we got electric coming in, hot out, cold in. We look at the new tank, excuse the mess, hot out, cold in, electric. So everything on this tank is configured just like the old one, which is going to help us out. Now, when you look in here, there are no flex lines coming off the top of this tank, and I'm going to install flex lines this time. I just plumbed right off of this sucker because I changed all of the plumbing in this entire house out to PEX, which I actually am very proud of. That thing is sick. So give me a thumbs up if you like that thing. Hit the thumbs up button if that thing gets your motor running. But we got an expansion tank. All this expansion tank is going to have to move up because we have 18-inch flex lines going in here. So you guys are going to see that. But that whole section is going to get chopped out. And there's going to be a flex going in straight down from there. So we're going to get that pulled open right there, that little electrical connection. see what's in there, verify that everything's going to work before we start shutting water off, taking everything apart. I don't have a floor drain. We can see this thing's bleeding out of here. Water coming out of there. I don't think it's supposed to come out of there. Water coming out of that one too. So down here is the hose connection right there. So I don't have a floor drain anywhere close. So we're going to hook a garden hose up to that, crack that valve open. We're going to run the garden hose out the door, and we're going to let this thing drain for a little while. So I don't have any shut-off valves above this tank because you know what? I got a shut-off valve right there. Is that a mannequin? What the heck? So, yeah, we're going to shut that Johnny off right there, which is going to turn the whole house off. Yes, I could put shut-off valves right up here, but we're not going to. So, shut the water off, drain the tank, and see you in a few minutes. So, we got the wife's little flexi, shrinky thingy hose hooked up. Don't tell her I took it. She doesn't know that I actually like it. So we should be able to crack this valve and we will start draining this hot water tank. So we're going to open this up. I don't know how many turns it takes. I don't know. Seems like it doesn't want to go anymore. So once we get that open, we can crack this guy. And this hot water tank should begin to drain. So we're going to get this sucker drained and emptied, and we can start cutting lines. Okay, so this thing's been draining a while. Excuse the noise, the furnace is running right behind me. So I'm going to chop these. I got this little ratcheting El Chapo machine. We're going to start cutting these, and I'm going to cut them low. I'm going to have to cut them again up higher. I'm hoping that, yep, there's no water leaking out of there. I got some towels there just for drippy drips. Yep, see that? A little bit of water coming out of there. It's going to happen. We may need a bucket. Nope, looks like it's slowed down. Beautiful. So we're going to chop this other one above this expansion tank. I'm going to chop this guy right here because I know that expansion tank probably still has some water in it. So we're going to chop above it and hopefully, yep, not a ton of water in that one either. A little drippy drip. No big deal. So now that those two are cut, I can undo the hanger on that expansion tank because that's actually going to have to move up, and we can get this hot water tank out of here with a dolly and let it finish draining elsewhere. Okay guys, so we got that tank out of there, and you can see we got a little mold up in this corner. So check it out. I got some instant mold and mildew El Removo. So we're going to soak this whole area down. This thing sprays like some kind of idiot developed it, because apparently nothing sprays right anymore. Everything sprays like crap because everything is crap. So I'm going to soak this area down, let it chill out for a few minutes, and we'll clean it up. So we sprayed everything. You can see where I was cleaning on the wall back there. But we sprayed everything with that mold and mildew remover. That stuff works really, really good. I've used it on tile, concrete, different stuff. It works great. So if you have any mold issues, go pick up a bottle of that junk. It's good. So let's get that tank back in here. Akapow! Gosh dang, I'm getting good at that. All right, so units in. So like I said, we're gonna put flex on there, connect up in yonder, flex, yonder, move expansion tank up in yonder, get all that plumbing done. I'm one human with two hands, so we're just going to flash forward to that done. And just like that, it's all hooked up. So I had to buy these 3/4 inch pipe thread fittings to a PEX barb to slide into this pipe here. This is a little ratcheting clamp. There's a tool that clamps onto this little guy right here and goes hi-ya and squishes it down. You can see right there. Ka-chow! That squeezes down, tightens that up. Got a new 90 in there. I bought a couple of new fittings for here and here. Could have tried to reuse the old ones, but they're a little crusty because we have pretty hard water where we live. despite having city water, it's pretty hard. So there's all all these fittings have a little rubber washer in them. So there's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what I'm talking about. Don't over tighten those. Hand tighten and then go a little bit more with a wrench. Don't over tighten them. And you might say, oh geez, why is your pecs all out of plumb? Why isn't it nice and straight and square? Well, because all pecs looks like crap. It just is what it is. So that's all done. We need to hook up electric and fill this tank up with water, check for leaks, and we Gucci gang. So I kicked the water on and the tank's filling up, and like I said, I've never actually installed a hot water tank before, but it's got this valve up high here, and if you open it, you can hear it letting air out. So I don't know, it just seems sensible to crack that while the hot water tank is filling up with water. I'm gonna leave that open for a little while, maybe until water starts coming out of that, and then I'll smack it closed. It's just an easy way to get air out of the system. You can crack a valve, your faucet, whatever faucet is lowest in the house. You can probably crack that first and bleed some air out of the system. Anytime you shut your water off, you're gonna get air in the system. You're gonna have to go around, crack all your valves, flush all your toilets, everything, get all the air out of the system. Gosh, dang it, that thing looks good. So while we're waiting on this thing to fully fill up, take a towel and dry off all these fittings real well. Get them nice and dry. Anywhere that you made new connections or you had something apart, get them real dry. That way it's easy to find leaks if you have any. We shouldn't have leaks because we did a good job, but just to be sure. So the water is on, all the air is out of the system, and it's time to wire this thing up. So I said earlier that it was 12-3 wire. It's actually 12-2 wire, which means there are 2 conductors and a ground. So this white wire that you see right here and one of these blacks is coming from over there in the panel, this wire right here. So that is 12-2 wire, and what you might ask is, well, what is 12-2? 12 is the gauge of wire and 2 is the number of conductors. So in a 12-2, it's 12 gauge wire with 3 wires, 2 of which being conductor and 1 of which being this green ground down here. Some of them might have a bare ground, but because this is MC, metal clad, it is an actual jacketed ground, and it is green. So white is common, black is your main conductor typically, and green is ground. So we want black to black, we want red to white, and the green goes to that green screw right down there. So we're gonna smack some wire nuts on this unit. Take your linesman's pliers, twist those together a little bit first. So we're gonna tighten those up, jam them back down in there, put the cover plate on, kick the breaker on, and we are back in business. So we're gonna do that. Check back in a moment. Boom shakalaka. She done. Everything all good. Now we gotta do, come back over here, crank that, turn the power on. Guess what? That thing stayed on, didn't trip. That means your boy wired it right. So this sucker should be kicking on and it should be making hot water. So we're gonna give her 15 minutes or so, run the water and see how she do. But we should be all done. So guys, a little bit of a switch up, a little bit of a different video. Hey, you're over there right there. I always look at the wrong part of the camera and I'm sorry for that. But we are done. That thing's in. We're all good. So, as I always say, thank you for watching. Hopefully you learned something today. Listen, installing a hot water tank, it's really quite easy. You can pay a plumber to do it if you want. But, you know, with some basic tools, listen, I'm a sloppy worker. And I make big messes, but, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, like I always say, this crap ain't that hard. It's easy. You just get some basic tools and get it done. Save yourself a couple $100, $200, $300, $400, whatever it is, of having a plumber come out. I videoed this and I took my time, and it took a minute, but shoot, you could do this in 1 hour, easy, by yourself, no big deal. So, hey, again, deuces. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to subscribe, if you liked what you saw, hit the thumbs up button. If you have any tips for me, if you're a plumber and you don't like something I did, if you know better than me, I'm willing to learn. So drop a comment below and let me know what you think. All right, guys, thanks a lot. See you later.